what's going on? Guys, my name's Dynasty. What I got for y'all today is another Mortal Kombat 11 video, and this is crazy because there's been a lot of new details discussed through these interviews done while people were in attendance at the Mortal Kombat 11 reveal event in Los Angeles or London, and these interviews are jam-packed with new details that nobody's really been discussing, so I figured, hey, today's video, we're going to be covering the highlights of these interviews. They're interviews with Derek Kurtzik, Ed Boon, and Paulo Garcia, so everybody who works at NetherRealm Studios, and they discuss how there's no pay to win, there's no loot boxes, the roster size, what type of characters to expect in the roster, customization, gameplay changes. It's jam-packed. I try my best to cover a little bit of everything from these interviews. Like I mentioned, I'm focusing more on highlights that I think you guys are going to want to see, including even a secret character maybe. So, like I mentioned, jam-packed, but solely focusing on like the highlights, the cliff notes of these interviews. If you guys want to read the full interviews, which I highly recommend you do because they are so lengthy, links to everything that's cited inside the description of this video. So with that said, let's start to break down these interviews, and let's get into it. So first things first, let's kick it off with Game Informer's interview with Ed Boon. So Game Informer did have a chance to interview Boon himself. For the most part, it was just Boon rehashing what he mentioned on the stage when he was, showing off the gameplay for MK11. So it's very gameplay-based, these questions, but there is one very last question that discusses who to expect in the roster, and it's got me so stoked because fan favorites are probably coming back. Okay, so let's kick things off right here. They ask, in the demo, there are 3 variations to choose from. Are there always going to be 3 base variations that people can choose from? The response to that was, yeah, the game will come with the regulation versions of the character, and you can add to one and build it. We're kind of still thinking about whether we want to make those 3 fixed. We can let you copy and paste and then build from there, but I'm personally leaning towards having some base ones, certainly for competitive and tournaments, and I really do hope they give us those 3 base variations. For the most part, when I got a chance to play the game, I was using the base variations because I wasn't familiar with the meta for the characters I was using. For instance, I was using Garrus, and I didn't know anything about Garrus. If I don't know anything about the character, how am I supposed to go in there and make my own version of him? You get me? At least with like a base variation provided by NetherRealm, it's made by NetherRealm, so guess what? It's gonna be a great variation to use. It's gonna be proficient. You're gonna be able to use the character the proper way, so I hope that that's not taken away, because if it is, trying to learn a new character is gonna be a pain in the ass if you don't know the meta for them, because, well, there's nothing to go off of. Anyways, moving on to the next question. Again, it's kind of gameplay based. They're talking about how the game's focused on footsies. They say it's more about close range combat. Ed Boon says, yeah. Is that something that you saw as the main direction you wanted to take the series? Was that feedback you got from the community? Where does this sort of shift come from? And his response to that was, part of it was the community. A big part was just change. We don't want to release a game that just feels like a prettier skin version of the previous one. We really want people to play and go, wow, there's a lot of things that are different. What we did with the meters is totally different in MKX. The super moves, we've separated them. So there's your inspiration behind why the gameplay's been changed so drastically. They didn't want MK11 to feel like MKX 2.0, and it's understandable, and like I mentioned, it does play different, guys, but it's not a bad different. It's still Mortal Kombat, I promise you, when you play the game. There's a learning curve, but once you sit down for about 20 minutes, you're good to go, I'd say. So now this last question is in regards to the characters not revealed on the roster. Characters to expect, what type of characters, and it's exciting to say. So here's the question. They asked Boon, so in terms of roster selection, you saw the 7 characters we have now, but there's been a back and forth. In MK9, it was all about the past history. It was rehashing the plot of 1 through 3. In X, it was moving toward a new direction, where you had a lot of new characters. Where do you see that direction going with 11? Now, the response to this question was, I think Mortal Kombat X probably introduced more brand new characters. The Devoras, the Ferritors, Cassie Cage, and Jackie, probably more than Mortal Kombat 11. I think Mortal Kombat 11 will introduce some new characters, but we have 80 characters or something. There's always this passion to seeing your favorite characters returning. Scarlet or Baraka. Baraka's a big one. People were pissed when Baraka wasn't in MKX, so I think if we had like a needle, it leaned a bit towards servicing those players who want to see their favorite return. And there you have it. If there's a fan favorite that's not been shown some love lately, chances are MK11 they're gonna be on the roster. So Noob Saibot, Rain, Jade. We just got Baraka, Fujin. Like, there's gonna be so many fan favorites now on the roster. Boone essentially said, yeah, we're catering to fan favorites in comparison to introducing new characters, and that's just, I'm so stoked. So yeah, if you were questioning the roster selections, don't know more. The roster is going to shape up to be amazing, and I'm so excited. We've already seen, you know, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Kitana, Johnny Cage, Cassie, so this game's roster might be shaping up to be one of the best we've seen in a couple years, and that's got me really stoked. But like I mentioned, if you guys want to read the full interview, a link down below. Moving on to the next interview, though, it's from the guys at the Combat Tether, who got a chance to interview Derek Kurtik, of course, one of the game's community managers, and he was over at the London event. They asked him a ton of questions. If you guys want to read the full interview, link down below, just simply focusing on the highlights here. So with that said, let's break this down, and let's get into interview number 2 with Derek Kurtik. So, of course, they asked him, has the online netcode improved further from its iteration in Injustice 2? And the response to that was, we are always looking to improve online functionality, which is a good thing, of course, dating back to MKXL, the whole GGPO netcode. Since Mortal Kombat XL dropped, NetherRealm Studios has gotten their shit together when it comes to playing games online. The netcode's usually, it's amazing. So it's cool to see that the MK11 netcode is going to be just as good, if not better, than it was in Injustice 2. I don't think it was too shabby inside of Injustice 2. If you were playing with like a wired connection with somebody else with a wired connection, everything was pretty much perfect, I'd say. So good to see that even then, they're still working on making the gameplay online even better. Now, the next question is, can we expect to see an evolution of the Quitality mechanic in Mortal Kombat 11? His response to that was, Quitalities? Fuck yes. So there you go. Quitalities are coming back. That was mentioned inside the emo leaks a month ago, so I think this is like the first time, too, it's been confirmed from somebody by NetherRealm officially. So there you go. Quitalities are making a comeback. Now, the next question says, in regards to cosmetics and skins, can we anticipate any classic skins from perhaps the 3D era, like Deadly Alliance or Deception, for example? The response to that was, there will be classic skins, but from what exact classic games, I'm not sure. There's a bunch of skins per character, so of course it's safe to assume all the ninjas are going to have their UMK3 attire, and, you know, vice versa. All the ones that have been showcased in every other Mortal Kombat game are coming back, but to see them kind of dodge, you know, I don't know what games, I don't know if it's from Deadly Alliance or Deception, that's bittersweet for me because that kind of makes me feel like 3D era stuff's not coming back, and that's a bummer because I need Shredder Sub-Zero in my life, and, bittersweet. It's cool to see classic skins are coming back, but then it's like there's always classic skins from MK1 to 3. We never see classic skins from the 3D era, and it's shaping up to be like maybe MK11. That's not the case again, and that's kind of a bummer. Now, the next question says, the roster in this reveal build has 25 character slots. Is that number final? And his response is, it's a pretty solid number. So, that kind of sounds like him just, you know, being not sarcastic but playful. I don't think that's the final number. I really don't. If it is, even then, that's not really that bad, because if you add in Shao Kahn plus another 6 characters, you already got 32 after the season pass. There's bound to be a Combat Pack 2 after the first Combat Pack, so you're almost back at 40 characters after DLC said and done. That's not bad. I think we were just spoiled with Injustice 2. A lot of people seem to think that the roster's super small. Yeah, I think you guys are reaching. I think it's just right. I think it's okay right now. I mean, we have DLC coming. Like, relax, be patient, just be happy that this game is shaping up to be amazing. Now, the last question is about loot boxes. So they say loot boxes. Will there be an equivalent to mother boxes found in Injustice 2 and MK11? And Derek Kurtik says there are no loot boxes. And I think the next interview, it's pretty much confirmed that there's not even going to be like a pay-to-win factor in MK11, so this is cool. I know a lot of you guys were worried that content would be behind some type of loot box. It's not. It's over. The nightmare ends. MK11 will give you rewards based on how you play and using coins in games, so that's pretty exciting information. So like I mentioned, this is coming from the Kombat Tether. They just posted this yesterday. The full interview is also worth reading. Derek Kurtzik's very playful with a bunch of other answers. He can't really give you much on some things they ask, but he does try his best, so I thought it was a pretty solid interview. Now, making our way to the final one here, Game Crate got a chance to interview Paulo Garcia, who's always been showcased on and off with the Kombat cast. He's pretty much like the advanced designer focused on gameplay and stuff for Mortal Kombat and Injustice. And he talks about what you earn from the Towers of Time, talks about how there's no pay to win, also mentions that there's gonna be a secret character. So the first question is, what sort of things do you earn as you complete a tower in the Towers of Time mode? He says it's mainly stuff to go to customizing your character. You can be unlocking different icons, things for the different gear slots. Skins are big ones, but those are rarer because there are less skins. But there will be a lot more gear pieces. And then intros and victory poses are things you can also unlock. So it seems like Towers of Time is a way for you to really get the full customization for a certain character. And I believe it because when I did go through, I only got to play, like I mentioned, like an hour maybe tops of MK11 at the event. And I did do the Towers of Time of Sub-Zero. At the very end, it gives you like a screen showing off everything you earned. And it's like 6 different things. And I think I got maybe 1 skin and the rest are like just gear pieces. So seems like if you really want to customize your character, the grind for Towers of Time is going to be worthwhile because that's like the best way to get stuff. Now the next question they ask, so can we expect the in-game currency and monetization to work similarly to Injustice 2, or is it different? His response was, for the in-game currency, it will be straight stuff you earn in-game and then spend in-game. There will be no actual MTX monetization. From there they say, okay, so there's none of that. And he follows by saying, no, any of that stuff, well, we try to make that stuff be separate from gameplay as much as we can. We try to make it so it's never pay to win and it's never pay to progress. It's just those extra cosmetics as far as like gear and characters. We try to make it where the gameplay stuff is the stuff you play and earn and use it like that. So no pay to win, no pay to progress. This doesn't necessarily say there's not going to be microtransactions. Let's just be theoretical here, and maybe Dynasty talked to somebody who interviewed a certain somebody and they asked a certain somebody about microtransactions and the question kind of got avoided and the interview got tense after that. So kind of bittersweet, but I guess it's cool to see at least they're trying their best to make the game not pay to win. I'm just curious to see where these microtransactions, if they are microtransactions, get implemented, because apparently it's not pay to win, it's not pay to progress. Obviously there's gonna be new skins, there's gonna be new characters, but I don't know. I'm wondering where the microtransactions inside the game are gonna be. Now the final question they ask, are there any secret characters that you'll be able to unlock? And the response is, there will be secret characters, sure. And it sucks because this is through text. It's not like an interview with video or audio, so I don't know if he's being sarcastic and trolling. I don't know if he was like trying to not sound enthusiastic or what was, I don't know. So apparently there's gonna be secret characters at the very least. If anything, I'm thinking maybe just like MKX unlocking Shinnok for Chronica. If you beat the story mode, she does get unlocked and she's like a secret character, maybe. Right now, I guess all we can do is sit back and see what unfolds because there's no other substance other than there will be secret characters. Sure, but guys, that is the interview from GameCrate.com. Just like I mentioned, the interview with the Kombat Tether, with GameCrate and Game Informer, everything will be inside the description of this video. They're great interviews. They're really lengthy. I just kind of focused on the highlights. Like I mentioned, this was meant to be like the cliff notes of the interviews. If I sat here and read every single interview, we'd be here for like 45 minutes, and I'm not going to try to bore you guys. So anyways, that is all I got for y'all today. A bunch of loaded information. Like, I'm surprised nobody's really talked about this stuff in length, so I figured, hey, give you guys something to listen to. And I'm just curious, what do you guys think of everything that was mentioned here? What do you think of there might being secret characters? What do you think of it, you know, not being pay to win? What do you think of Ed Boon saying that they're catering to fan service characters, fan favorites? What do you think of Derek Kurtzik coming out and saying Quitalities are confirmed to be making a comeback? Of course, if you guys could please take 1 second and drop a like on the video, subscribe for some more MK11 content. Until next time, I've been your host, I've been Dynasty. You guys, please take care, stay safe. I love you guys so much. I'm so stoked to see the end result of this game, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. Your setups, you one of the greatest. You deserve more exposure, man, you underrated. To all the Dynasty haters, promise you'll love them later. Y'all gon' react like
like he did when he seen the trailer. But hold up, let me hit y'all with a twist. Wait, I'm Sub-Zero, the rap game is the Lin Kuei. You see, I've been a fan of Dynasty for years now. GTA, MK, and Justice, I'm still down. Rapper